Welcome to Story Voyage, where we bring the most captivating Reddit tales to life. Today's story is one that's bound to keep you on the edge of your seat, so sit back, relax, and let's dive into another unforgettable journey. I never thought I'd end up here. A year ago, I'd have sworn that my marriage was rock solid. Jessica and I had been together for 8 years, and although we'd had our ups and downs, we always managed to work things out. Or at least that's what I thought. A few months ago, though, things started to change. Jessica began staying out late more often, working overtime, as she put it, even though her job had always been flexible. She started dressing up more, spending hours in front of the mirror before she left for meetings. When she started locking her phone and acting evasive, I knew something was off. I confronted her a few times, but she brushed me off, calling me paranoid and saying I should trust her. I wanted to believe her, so I tried to shake the feeling, but the nagging suspicion lingered. I'd never been the jealous type, but something deep down told me I was right to worry. One night, after she'd gone out with friends, I got a text from her sister, Emily. Emily and I had always been close, maybe a bit too close for Jessica's comfort sometimes. She knew things hadn't been great between us lately, so she asked if I wanted to meet up and talk. I didn't have anyone else I could confide in, so I agreed. When I got to the bar, Emily was waiting for me, looking equally anxious. Over a few drinks, I told her everything. Emily was a great listener, and I found myself pouring my heart out. At one point, she reached across the table and held my hand, reassuring me that I wasn't imagining things and that it wasn't wrong to feel hurt. As the evening wore on, our casual meet-up turned more personal. Emily admitted that she'd always felt that Jessica didn't treat me the way I deserved. She even mentioned she'd confronted Jessica about some of her friendships, but Jessica had laughed it off. Emily's empathy and understanding felt like a balm, something I hadn't felt in months. By the end of the night, I wasn't sure if it was the drinks or the emotions, but I felt myself leaning closer to her. Eventually, we ended up back at my place. One thing led to another, and before I knew it, we were wrapped up in each other. It was electric, like I found something I'd been missing for years. But as the morning light started to creep in, reality hit. I felt guilty, but a part of me also felt liberated. For the first time, I understood what it meant to feel genuinely cared for. As I was getting up to make coffee, I got a text from Jessica. She said she'd be home earlier than expected. My stomach dropped. Emily saw my reaction and nodded, understanding that she needed to leave. But just as she was gathering her things, the front door swung open. Jessica stood there, her face flushed, maybe from rushing home or from guilt. She froze when she saw us. The expression on her face was a mix of shock and horror, and I could tell she'd instantly connected the dots. What's going on here?" she stammered, her eyes darting between me and Emily. I didn't bother hiding the truth. "I think you already know," I replied calmly, feeling oddly composed. Jessica's face turned pale as she realized the hypocrisy of the situation. I could see her scrambling to come up with something to defend herself, but she had nothing. The truth was staring her in the face, and there was no escaping it. Her horror quickly turned into anger, and she started hurling accusations at both of us. Emily, however, wasn't one to back down. She calmly told Jessica that she knew about her affair and that she had betrayed me long before this. Jessica tried denying it, but Emily wasn't fooled. She'd seen Jessica with her friend a few weeks ago and had even confronted her about it, but Jessica had brushed it off. Now, the tables were turned and Jessica had nothing left to say. In the end, Jessica stormed out, leaving Emily and me alone once more. I knew it was over between us, and strangely, I felt at peace with it. I wasn't sure what would happen next, but I knew one thing: I wasn't going to let anyone else make me feel like I wasn't enough. That night, Emily stayed with me, and as we sat in silence, we both knew this was just the beginning of a new chapter. Thank you for joining us on Story Voyage. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share it with others who love a good tale. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world of stories with us.